Alright guys, I present to you the Sunfire. Now that I got a few hours to kind of get some stuff done, we're going to work on this car and start to get it stripped. They're fairly easy to strip out. You don't really need a whole lot of tools. Sun visor, I know that there's a Torx up there. You need a star screwdriver or Phillips, whatever way you want to look at it. 10 mil, 14 mil for the driver and the passenger seats, unless you just cut around the carpet. I usually just take the seats out because it's just as easy. And yeah, just a few basic tools to get these things apart. It's fairly easy. It's a lot of simple just getting into it and tearing it apart. I know that a lot of you guys shouldn't have a problem stripping up these Cavaliers, so I won't really spend a whole lot of time showing you guys how it's done. So we'll go ahead and we'll start getting this thing gutted out, and I'll come back to you guys. See how far we get tonight.
I'd highly suggest one of these tools too. I got mine from Snap-on, but you can get one about anywhere. Something just to make life a little bit easier, that's all. Just a 13mm socket. And now for the bumper cover. And I'm going to put it up on jack stands anyway because I got to do all brake lines on it. So okay, so now that we're securely on jack stands, we can take off the wheel. Sunfires and the Cavaliers, they got 5 of these stupid plastic caps. You pull those off, and then you actually have to pull the lug nuts off to pull the hubcap off. So, all right, got the lug nuts off, and that's just that simple. Okay, and there's a couple Phillips screws. One there, one there. There's going to be a couple bolts in here, and if I'm not mistaken, they're 10 mil. Or like I said, you can just do it the easy way, get your Sawzall, and just cut right down there. Whatever way you want to do it. Alright, so we got the front bumper pulled off there. If you guys are planning on running the stock bumper, I usually just take all this stuff off. It's fairly easy with a crowbar. Other than that, it's not the easiest to take off, but I found a crowbar works the best. But there's a couple 10 mil nuts that hold the bumper on each corner. You can find them pretty easy. I'm going to be putting another bumper on, so I'm going to pull it off. There is a couple things on the rad. There's the 2 mounts that hold it on. I'll make another video on all of that and show you guys how to set up rads. Also, your air conditioning lines, I usually get rid of those. Once again, I'll make a separate video on that when I make the video of the rad. The computer is still in the side there. I know it's kind of dark in here. Don't really have the greatest lighting. Anyway, the computer is in there, so I'm going to make a separate video and show you guys how exactly we move that once we get the interior stripped out and we can actually have some room to put that. So, alright, so day number 2 of working on the green bastard. I got all the insulation stuff off the hood there. So we got the windshield washer jug and the air box out there. Just 3 10mm bolts and a couple fasteners, and that was out pretty quick. I'm just going to concentrate on getting the interior stripped out. It's pretty straightforward. You have your 4 13mm bolts to take out the seats. Get the mirror out, just a star screwdriver, and pull back the foam that's in there, and 3 10mm bolts to get that out. The door panel. There are a few Phillips screws, one there, another 3 going down the bottom of the door there. But also, to get the door panel off on this armrest here, it's a 7mm socket, and then there's one there and one there. You just take those two bolts out, and out it comes. Makes it a little bit easier when you have a tool to take off that stupid handle there, but you'll get it. And the airbags, the driver's one anyway. Can't really see on my fingers, but at the back there's just 2 10mm bolts. Just turn your wheel like that, go from behind and take the bolt. Turn your wheel like the other way like that, go behind and take out your bolt. The passenger airbag, you just pull out the glove box. A few Phillips are holding that in, and you just pull the whole assembly out, and right underneath the dash is 2, if I believe, 10 mils to take that out. Got the bottom of the back seat already out. You just pull it and it comes right out. Probably about the easiest thing to take apart on one of these. Seat belts are 18 mil bolts. These guys here, there's just clips in here. You just pull the clip out, slide it this way. Seat belts, I normally just fully extend them like that and then cut them right there. And then you can also use seat belts for your doors to shut them if you're not going to weld them. Inside of the trunk, well, I guess I'll get that popped and we'll have a look. Okay, this thing's already 3/4 gutted, so that's pretty not bad. As you can see, this is actually a really clean car. But all this carpet just pulls back. This piece here pries up. Oh, there we go. There bolts going along here. Or not bolts, sorry, nuts. What am I talking about? I think it's a heat that's getting to me. But the same thing with these two turn lights. And there's a couple 10mm bolts there to pull the bumper off. Another couple Phillips there. And then once you get those out, you can essentially just pull the bumper cover right off. I'm going to be leaving the back bumper on this car. And I'll show you guys how I build it with the back bumper on when we get to that stage. But other than that, I'm going to leave you guys to it, stripping the cars out. Normally no one really has any issues with stripping them out, so... But anyway, this thing's about 90% stripped. All that we have left to do is just the trim on the doors and take out the glass. So I'll show you guys how to properly take out the glass. And by properly, I don't mean smashing it out with a hammer. And actually, if you want to get technical, you could smash out every window on this car except for the front window because they have the layer of plastic inside of them. And it just doesn't shatter. I mean, little tiny pieces break off, but you will not shatter the front window in these. I should have really waited until the daytime to do this, but maybe if we open it this way. Yes, okay, perfect, we get more light. Okay, so the first step to taking the windows out is they have the rubber trim around them, kind of as a track. We're going to want to take that out. Sometimes you just need a flathead to go in here and grab it, but of course I'm going to try to do it, being a man, and try to pull it out. It gives me... Oh, there we go, okay. So that part's done. Pull this out. And this part here pulls out too, just like so. And this one is the one you normally need a nice flathead on. Okay, so now that we got our rubber seals off, you should be able just to grab the window and then it'll move back and forth. Okay, so I just used the old door handle there. But we're going to want to roll this window up to about that point. But if you look inside of here, there's a 10mm bolt right there. And another 10mm bolt right there. So we're going to want to go ahead and pull those off. Okay, so we just got those two nuts pulled out there. Now that we've got those two bolts out, you just slide the window up on an angle and just pull up. And it comes out just like that. And that's how you do it on the front two doors of a 4-door, or the only two doors on a 2-door. Okay, so these back ones can be a little bit more difficult. We're going to start by taking off the rubber seal again, and then we have to take the side one out to pull this one out. It's a little bit of a complicated process, but we'll get started. But the window will only roll down right to this styrofoam rubber stopper here. So you have to take out that stopper with the two bolts there. Okay, so we got those two bolts removed, and that just slides right out of there. Okay, so now with that block out there, we can get to both nuts to get this window out. And now to take off this little side window, there's this 10mm bolt there we got to pull off. And right up here in the corner of the window, if we peel this back, there's a Phillips screw that has to come out. There is also one more Phillips screw right back in there. So if you're looking at the window, it's just right in the corner there. So Phillips screw up there, Phillips screw down there, a 10mm at the bottom. So just right here, grab it, pull, and then the whole thing just slides right out of there. And that's basically how it's done. The bigger, larger window pulls out pretty much the exact same as the front one does. And with those two Phillips and the one 10mm, the side window slides right out of there. And as for the front and the back window, and then what I would do is I'd get a hammer and just hammer right in this corner here to create your hole. And then grab a trusty old Sawzall and just cut around the windshield, going as close to the outer edge as possible. You want, you're gonna have about this much on the outside, and then just cut out the adhesive going all around the window so there's nothing left in here. But they just don't like to see, even if we put duct tape over it and all that, they don't like to see it at all. They like to see that you've actually cut out the adhesive all around the window and done that. And once again, the lighting really sucks. I can see fine in here, but for some reason my camera doesn't want to pick anything up. But for the back window, what you can do is smash it out. I don't really like smashing it, but usually you don't really have much of an option. You smash it out and do the same as the front, just cut around it. And that's pretty much the easiest way to get that out. You can try to Sawzall it out with the glass still intact, but
12 times out of 10 you're going to break it.
This is a fairly old tool, but I'll tell you, it saved my butt more than once. It's a pneumatic windshield removal tool. And how this tool works is as soon as you get the rubber seal off around the whole window, you'll just come in right at the corner here, wiggle your blade in, push the button like so, and then just slide it down the window, and it cuts everything so nice. And you can take front windows out without cracking or breaking them. Well, I mean, if you're careful enough anyway. And back windows you can take out and not even worry about breaking anything. It just makes everything so much cleaner. So I mean, take everything with a grain of salt. That's pretty much how to strip out a Sunfire, the basics. And this thing is pretty much done. I'm still going to take out a little bit of the dash too. The next step, I guess, once I get everything stripped out, is I'll show you guys how to move the computer next. Which is pretty much a video in itself. I'll show you how to disable the theft system so you won't get a stupid blinking theft idiot light. These cars, they do have a tendency to lock themselves out of theft, or lock themselves into theft mode. And it never seems to fail. Usually at a derby when you're about to go in the ring, it just starts blinking because you disconnect your battery or whatever. But so that's that. The car got a new brake line so it can stop now. I'm going to throw the tires back on it whenever I get the tank in and take it for a spin. So it's midnight and I think it's probably time and I should head into bed. That concludes the stripping portion of this car. Like I said, we kept it pretty clean, so thumbs up to that. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everyone, and until next time, Derby on.